the coronavirus! But I digress. Alright. Good evening, everybody. And I mean that literally. On this Sunday night, on March 15th, 10:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Welcome, as always, to a very special, first ever trifecta special, 205 Live Matters. Because honestly, if you've been following the brand like I have, it's been a perpetual storyline going for the last 3 weeks. But I digress. Now, I'm just a simple man, and my name is Noah Foster. And of course, as I said before, welcome to another edition of 205 Live Matters. Before we get into this week, the saga of NXT versus 205 Live OGs, allow me, of course, to introduce you to my co-host. We are the Simple Holiday. He recently achieved a milestone on YouTube of 1,000 subscribers. He is a family man. He has more wrestling wisdom and knowledge than I can ever hope to have. Mad respect to him. You want something short, sweet, and simple, opinion, update, notification, a little bit of history for you, please follow my friend's channel here. It's, of course, the Holiday Christopher Mace. Chris, how are you and this family during what is truly a unique time to be a wrestling fan and alive?
Oh, the world's gone to craziness and the chaos, but you know what? We got to keep just going through one day at a time. That's all we can do. So we still got some wrestling to watch. So if you need to escape and you're a wrestling fan, there's still plenty of wrestling to watch right now. So we're going to talk about the last 3 weeks of 205 Live. These are by far I thought they couldn't get any shorter that first one. Then they got shorter the second one. And I'm like, certainly they're not going to get shorter the third one. And they almost did too. So these are by far the 3 shortest episodes ever in this show's history.
It's kind of crazy when you think about it. It's almost like it's becoming the alternative main event because it's really more focusing on recaps of like NXT with a little encompassing of NXT cruiserweights and 205 Live cruiserweights and NXT. But instead of main event that just covers the other rosters, but I digress. But yeah, folks, so for those of you who don't know, I'm still in college. I have midterms, and as far as I know, I got a midterm this Wednesday. Lord help me. But beyond the craziness aside, I still watch the brand every week, but due to schedules and just life, it's been hard for us to constantly keep a schedule. Apologies for those who have been constantly supporting and waiting. I do what I can, so does he. So with that, we're going to start by discussing February 28th, then the previous week, and then, of course, the PC No Fan Special. What a wild time to be a wrestling fan. So with that, as you all know, the whole story surrounding these last few weeks is literally the invasion, per se, of NXT versus the 205 Live OGs. Who have they been jockeying victories with, back and forth, and then you had Team NXT led by Leo Rush versus Team 205 Live, led by, of course, Tony Nese, a 205 Live OG. But before we get into all that, there's another subplot, as I like to call it, a proving ground match. We continue to see who is going to be the future of 205 Live in the NXT brand, starting with these two up-and-comers. Our opening match from February 28th, Boston, Massachusetts, featured Joaquin Wilder and Mendoza. The rubber match, as these two were 1-1. To think, Raul Mendoza has really been making names for himself in the 205 Live brand beyond just being enhanced mid-talent at NXT and putting people over until he got his first victory over Riddick Moss, but that's a whole other thing. And then Joaquin Wilder, who at 1.5, who might never wrestle again. He's redefined himself, bringing in that bit bass. And basically, he and Raul Mendoza have had a friendly but very competitive in-ring rivalry to see who's the better man. And it was settled here in this rubber match. And overall, they brought back all the classic hits from the previous two, with a bit of a surprising end to me. And when I looked at the way this rubber was going, I kind of am surprised by the result. But in a way, it makes sense to me, because we already know who's established, who needs to get brought up. Chris, what was your thoughts on the match war between Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilder, now that we finally got the conclusion?
It was an interesting way they concluded it. Like I said, they both have potential to go far in the wrestling business. We already know who Zema Island was his name before that, Impact Wrestling. We know what kind of star he is. And, you know, these two guys are going to be the future of wrestling, whether they stay in the cruiserweight division or they get elevated up to NXT, more NXT appearances, or Raw or SmackDown. God help us if they don't use them right. But all in all, I said that was interesting how this match concluded. And like I said, I don't know whether is this feud going to be over now or we're going to see more of this. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing these two wrestle again, but let's take a break from it from a little bit.
Well, I look at it like this. We recently had Elimination Chamber, and we had 205 Live OG Drew Gulak give me the freaking match of the night.
Yeah.
Damn, love that match with Daniel Bryan. And now these two are allegedly going to become a tag team. Rivalries and in-ring competition and proving yourself to another can lead to greater things. We've already seen these two as a tag team in an impromptu match against the grizzled young veterans, and they lost. But now I feel like they might finally shell some chemistry together, and they could become a great tag team. Because let's be honest here, NXT needs more tag teams. They're using NXT UK just to build their NXT tag team division. It's almost like NXT and NXT UK should merge the tag divisions, and now you have a few tag teams in 205 Live. So if 205 Live is truly becoming NXT, why not merge all three? But I digress. Anyway, this was a really fun match. Wild fast start. Roman Mendoza right out the gate, literally with a powerbomb takeover, though, by Walking Wild. Both these men knew each other, of course, because this was their third match. They were 1-1. But what's interesting is towards the end, when he was literally going for that Wild thing, it was countered into a standing Spanish fly, then it was exchanged, and then drove his face down. At one point, Roman Mendoza gets so frustrated. You could realize how much he wanted this. He's like, "What are you?" Because Roman Mendoza's like, "I beat this guy before with this. Why can't I beat him now?" Anyway, as we move towards the end, there was a kick, moves a combination, and he finally hits the wild side. Walking Wire gets the win in this series. So I don't know what's next for either man, considering what we're going to talk about pretty soon about having won. But I thought overall this was a very nice best of three match series that this really turned out to be, and I didn't expect it. And as far as the next match, I don't want to see these two face each other again one-on-one for a little while, because then I think you burn that out. Let's see what these two can do as a tag team. Or, since Walking Wild got better with Mendoza, maybe Walking Wild can make more waves against other people on NXT or 205 Live. But overall, I thought it was a pretty darn good match. With that being said, the other story of this night, February 28th, was, of course, they were hyping up the Captain's Challenge match, which would be Team NXT led by Leo Rush, and we learned what the teams were, versus Team 205 Live led by Tony Nese. The teams, of course, were Leo Rush, the 1-2 Connection, Only Lurking Danny Burch, Swerve, Isaiah Swerve Scott, and Tyler Breeze, which is ironic considering how much he's been doing on the 205 Live brand. But then again, he's not an OG. But then explain this to me. As on 205 Live's team, we had originals Lee Ryan Kinnick, who says he's the one that built the brand, and his latest partner, acquaintance, blah, 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 whatever you want to call this, Arya Davari, and Mike Kanellis, who truly has said 205 Live, this is professional wrestling, this is the best brand. He's made that brand his own. So I kind of understand why he's part of it. Plus, to my knowledge, he's never had a match in NXT. And then, of course, their fifth running mate, as we learned, will be the gentleman, Jack Gallagher, which is ironic because we have not seen him on the brand yet. They're like, okay, he's an OG. When I was thinking about, wait, what other OGs are there? The Singh brothers. Well, I guess really you can't do anything else besides Jack in that case then. So I guess it makes sense. So it was like, oh, good, Jack's finally returning. Speaking of which, as we try to hype this match up, it was the captains. Good grief, how many times have these two men faced each other? The captains squaring off against each other. It was Tony Nese, Leo Rush. These two will always have great in-ring chemistry, but I gotta be honest. I feel like now I've seen this match 4 times, and on 205 Live, I like originality, but the originality didn't come from the match. It came from the story, because again, the bigger story here, who is better, who can lead this brand, who can define this brand? The guys that built it, or the guys that want it? And basically, that's what happened here as this match kept going on between Nese and Leo Rush. Nese, of course, he had the agility and the strength advantage, while Leo had the evasiveness. And again, he read him like a book. And basically, after kick exchange, suplex with bridge, Boston Crab, eventually, though, Mike comes into play because Tony Nese came out with his latest running mate, tag partner Mike Kanellis. Gets kicked in the face, roll up. Leo comes with the come up, and we look like he's going to get the win here. Ding, ding, DQ. Mike comes in, and we get brawl to brawl to brawl. Person coming out. The 1-2 connection comes out. They take care of Tony Nese and Mike Kanellis. Leo Rush out there by himself. I'm surprised the rest of the teams didn't come out there that night. Maybe they weren't there. But who finally makes their return? The gentleman, Jack Gallagher. Whoa. Okay, what's with the new ink and the buzz cut look? What is it with turning heel? You gotta get like a buzz cut or something if you're a guy. I mean, come on now. But anyway, He comes out, new look, new ink, and a gentleman's headbutt. That's it. Gentleman Jack Gallagher stands tall. We're following Leo Rush. And apparently this leads to Leo Rush being injured. Chris, what was your thoughts on, well, like you and me, we both look at not only matches, but we look at the story here. Clearly this is more story than match. What was your thoughts on, let's just say it, Jack Gallagher's return?
Well done. I think what they should have done though is they should have teased it as a mystery partner. Like, all right, we got a fifth guy, but you'll find out who he is later tonight. Leave it as a little bit of surprise, but you're gonna find out who he is, and and there's something different about him too. And then they could have left it, even though Self, you pretty much could have figured out it had to be the gentleman because you only had left was the Singh brothers. But you could have left it different. They could have left a little suspense with it. The match itself, we've seen this match a few times, but the pretty much point of this match was to build up a story with Mike Kanellis coming down there to interfere, then Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch coming to make the save, just for the gentleman Jack Gallagher to come back finally with a different look, which, like I said, interesting, but like I said, I'd said before in the past, when he comes back, he has to come back with a different look, different personality. I give him credit for that. With the creative part of that, give him credit for that. He came back with a different look, and we'll get into more of that once we get to the last episode that just recently happened. But all in all, I was interested with this. But yes, unfortunately, that meant Leo Rush was out of that match that we got at the Performance Center. Because I believe what they said was actually he either suffered a concussion or a storyline concussion. I'm not really sure which one it was.
Yeah, and who knows? It could have been just a way to write him off. I mean, we all know Leo Rush. He's recently overcome mental health instabilities. God bless him, because we all face that. I was mentally late. I still face them to this day. And then, of course, we're like, okay, what's going to go on here? Which leads us into the next week, Buffalo, New York. So first off, they recap the main event of last week, and the gentleman, well, he's not even a gentleman. Who are we kidding? Jack Gallagher's return, because I don't know how the hell to define him right now. But basically, they come out here and we find Swerve backstage, and basically he says, we're going to get payback for NXT after what Jack did to Leo Rush. And it's like, okay, well, now you guys are down one person, so what does this mean? You lost your captain. Oh, we got a fifth man. Mm-hmm. That's what I said. I'm like, I got a few ideas who I think that could be, considering what I've seen from the brand. But we'll get more into that later. And also, before I go more in this episode, I do agree. I was really hoping they would bring someone back. Oh, I don't know. Someone that might be stuck on main event, that's frustrated, been name dropped by another company, in, shadowing. Bring back Cedric Alexander, damn it. Mr. 205 Live himself. But I digress. Anyway, we'll get more into that a little later. So, going into this episode, though, we continue the build-up of one-upsmanship and momentum, as this episode clearly was about one thing: defining the idea of who's going in, who's the betters. The NXT, the 205 Live OGs. Our opening contest featured Isaiah Swerve Scott and Ari Daivari. Again, these two have faced each other at least 2 times to my knowledge, and I believe Isaiah Swerve Scott has won both of them, if not one of them. Someone can get a count for me on that. It's hard to keep track of all these episodes. But what I liked about this, thank you. But what I liked about this, Isaiah Swerve Scott, he brought out some more aggression going along with what he said earlier, and a new move, ouch, that's basically similar to a Fujiwara armbar, but with your foot, called Pop Culture, which led to him getting the win after he literally stepped on the left arm. Your arm's not supposed to bend that way. That was gross looking. And then a double stomp for the win. He did not get the win with house call. And the reason that he brought out this new move is because for the first time, Ari Daivari kicked out of his house call kick move, which no one's kicked out of before this moment, which is really surprising to me because it showed that Isaiah Scott, he's evolving, and also it shows Ari Daivari, he wants to go further and he can push himself further. What was your thoughts on this opening match and Isaiah Scott's new move? Ouch.
Oh, like I said, I love Daivari. He's one of the best heels in the company. And Isaiah Scott, I've already said he's the future of WWE. He's going to be a future world champion. Like I said, this was a damn good match, and I said I love the fact how they did this. How do you introduce a new finishing move? You want to do something different. You let the heel kick out of something that you always use, put them away. It was well done. It wasn't where it's one of those, I kick out of your finish 3 or 4 times. Okay, you kicked out of that? All right, I got something for you. Here's pop culture for you. And oh my God, I looked at it like, holy shit, I couldn't believe that. Looked like it hurt like hell the way he did that. I was like,
Oh,
shit. And
cool.
then when he went, went to the top rope and then hit him, got down on it and beat him 1, 2, 3. I said, you know what? I'm good with that. That's something different. They did it where it wasn't, I'll hit my finish, kick out, hit your finish, kick out. It was something different, and I loved it. Thought it was well done.
Yeah, absolutely. NXT won, by the way, 205 Live, as we continue this night. With the new format lately of 205 Live, that seems to be stay within half an hour, and it's led
Yeah.
by commentary by Ian English and John Quatzel. I'm still a little bit perplexed on the latest look of it, but I guess it is what it is. I don't work for them. Anyway, moving on from there, we go into our next match. Because again, this is what they do now, it seems. It's like a two-match showcase. WrestleMania's blah, blah, blah. Or is it? But I digress. Anyway, following up what we've seen previously, we get a tag team main event with the 1-2 connection. Danny Burch, Oney Lorcan versus the new tag team tandem in their first tag team match, I might add, as a tag team on 205 Live. Tony Nese and Mike Kanellis. Now, we've all had mixed feelings about the 1-2 connection. It's like they really have great chemistry. They love to fight, but when it matters, they really can't get the job done, it seems. Unless it's like a gimmick match, because they are coming off that feud win in that wild no DQ match against the Brian Kamek and Arya Daivari. In this case, though, this was Nese and Mike's debut tag team match. So clearly, I did not think they were going to lose here. I also felt they were going to go with 50-50 booking here. I was right. Oney was mostly worked over for most of this match. Then Danny gets a hot tag, and they go for that burning hammer, but it gets countered. And towards the end, we get, I don't even know what they would call that, but basically it was a pump handle knee strike slam. They don't have a name for that move. And Mike and Nese, they win in their tag debut, and they head out of this episode of 205 Live with momentum for the 205 Live OGs as we head towards Detroit, Michigan, damn it, next week for the 10-man match. So I think, Chris, you and I both saw the psychology here, the storybook telling the booking here. So let's just talk about the showcase here for a moment. What did you think of Tony Nese and Mike Kanellis as a tag team?
Love it.
There you go.
It's a great thing to do. It gives Mike Kanellis something different to do. It gives Tony Nese something different to do. And hopefully, I hope they elevate it to build them up to either, like I said, in the future. And I'll still hope this, either we're going to need to get some Cruiserweight Tag Team Championships or we're going to need to get a Women's Cruiserweight Championship. But I hope that this team can help build up to we can get a Cruiserweight Tag Team Championship in NXT 205 Live brand. These two guys perform well together. I love the story here. You kind of knew already that, Isaiah Swerve Scott won this opening match. So in this main event, I had a feeling Tony Nese and Mike Kanellis would win this match. And they did, which was the right decision to do because, you want to have it where you're not sure which team's going to win on this Performance Center episode. You want to have an idea. You don't want to be like, well, it's definitely going to be NXT. They're going to win. Or then you don't want to be like, oh, yep, it's going to be the 205 Live OGs. They're definitely going to win. You want to have that split down the middle. Who do you think is going to win? You're not really sure.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I think it was the right decision to do this.
And the thing is, Mike Kanellis, he's been MIA for a long time. We had no idea what he was up to or thinking. Some people thought he was going to, he was just going to, let his contract go out, but then again, they just signed for 5 years. That would be ridiculous. So I'm glad to see him back. And again, he really does love 205 Live. He demonstrates that in his social media. Mad respect to him. And yeah, I thought these two, pretty good tag team. And again, if this is the new format, at least 205 Live has the title. Main event doesn't. Put them in NXT Tag Team Division, grab the NXT Tag titles, put them against the Broserweights. Let's see what they can do. We need new competition. We need new rivalries to build here. After, of course, we go past the Grizzly bets, but that's for another day. Now, before we get into next week, which, of course, was the culmination of all this, the 10-man Captain's Choice Elimination Tag Team match that emanated from Detroit Mid. Damn it. Fuck you! Coronavirus! There, I said, I'm not monetized. I don't give a shit. Basically, what was supposed to happen, I was supposed to see this being live in Detroit, Michigan. However, Ladies and gentlemen, I ask that you all please stay healthy, stay calm, keep safe, keep well supplied, encourage one another, and enjoy wrestling in whatever form you can as it continues to try and bring itself. Because somehow they still did this match, but boy, at least I got my $80 refund. Anyway, first time ever, 205 Live emanated from the Performance Center in an empty crowd environment. As this will be the plan going forward, it seems, for WWE on all of its shows because of coronavirus, Steve Corona, whatever the hell you want to call it, 9 coronas, blah, blah, blah. Basically, you are going to see wrestling in an empty environment with a skeleton crew. And this happened here. However, mad respect to John Cena for not only encouraging what he saw, but seeing it live. Thank you, John Cena, for supporting 205 Live. I'm not the only one that believes it matters, folks. There you go. Anyway, with that being said, this was the combination. This was Jack's big return. This is where we figure out who was the fifth person for Team NXT, and this is where we truly decide who will run the 205 Live brand. Will it be the 205 Live OGs that made it their own, that built this, or will it be the newcomers that have invaded and taken over in their own way NXT? Well, we got our answer here. Before I talk a little bit about the action shown in this match and the outcome, and Jack's in-ring return with this new attitude and look. What the hell was he wearing in his entrance? By the way, botch! Thanks for spoiling who the freaking surprise person was, even though that was really my obvious guess since he did first show up in Madison Square Garden. Anyway, blah. Chris, it was literally the only match of the show. It was 22 minutes long after the friggin' intros of everybody coming out as a team, and John Quazzo and English welcomed us in. What was your thoughts on the combination of NXT vs 205 Live, this 10-minute tag match, and Jack Gallagher?
This was not as long as the first Captain Challenge match we got. The first one we ever got was 47, 48 minutes. It was a lot longer of a match.
Oh, yeah.
I understand because of circumstances, what's going on with the coronavirus, that they had to move the SmackDown to the Performance Center. So I think part of the problem is they reduced the time on this match because of that. I think if he had been at the live crowd, we would have gotten a longer match. But for what they did for the 22 minutes, what they did, I think they did a real good job with the match, how they told the story, how the eliminations happened. The highlight to me was the ending to me was definitely a highlight without spoiling anything as yet, so I want you to go through the match. But I think the mystery person, the fifth man, had a little bit impressive showing towards the end. Isaiah Swerve Scott was very impressive as always. And the gentleman, Jack Gallagher, damn, I was truly impressed with his performance in this match.
Yeah, he definitely, like you said, not only new look, definitely a new attitude. And it kind of, I feel like, cost the team a bit. But it also was kind of a way for him to truly show, because I think he's out to prove something to himself. I'm not the same person. I'm aggressive. I can do this. I can win this. You almost did. Let me talk to you and run you through this match a little bit. So, again, it was the teams. They came out first to, well, their captain's entrances. By the way, spoiler alert, it was Kushida. Because the friggin' first time Trump was not even Tony Nese, it was Kushida. Somebody back there does not know how to work a button to show the right video, apparently. Anyway, that was kind of funny. Botch! Anyway, Team 205 Live came out led by Tony Nese with Mike Kanellis, Jack Gallagher. What the hell was he wearing? That was the weirdest damn robot. Anyway, D. Brian Kendrick and the Singh brothers. Interesting. But then again, like Aiden said, they are 205 Live OGs. I guess they wanted to be part of this, per se. You wonder, though, if this was something that the man with a plan came up with, because we saw how they kind of worked together in one moment recently against the 1-2 connection. But anyway, and it was versus Team NXT, the team of Isaiah Swerve Scott, who I guess in this case was the captain at this point because, well, Leo Rush was not in the match. Tyler Breeze, the 1-2 connection, and they have shirts now to prove that, Only Lorcan and Danny Burch, and the mystery person, yeah, thanks for spoiling it, Titantron, but I called it anyway, so it don't matter. The Time Splitter, Kushida, his second ever showing under the 205 Live brand, after his first showing back at Madison Square Garden. And basically, these guys, they all went at it. In the early going, it was Kushida and Tony Nese basically jockeying for position, a game of one-upsmanship. Nobody could get advantage of the other. Then you get Mike Kanellis and Danny Burch tagged into the match, and things start to pick up. Get an arm ringer, and then Nese gets a tag, and we get Oney Lorcan in play here, and Oney, of course, bringing the Fury, as always, 205 Live. And then Oney and Burch definitely are tag mates. They just constantly kept tagging each other in this match. It just shows the chemistry and the connection with those two. Burch comes back into play, and he takes control of the match, and then all hell breaks loose because it's 10 people. You got a match that's going to happen. We got people brawling in pairs all over ringside. After Danny Burch, he gets a little bit with the Singh brothers, like, you stay out of this match, all right? Because clearly they're like, why the hell are you out here? They haven't forgotten about that post-match attack either. And it ended up being Danny Burch's downfall, as he was the first one eliminated after a pump handle countered into a crossface, but then everybody came in, and like I said. And then, same distraction. He takes out one Singh and the other Singh, headbutt and a right, but somehow Tony Nese grabs the Singh camera and knocks him in the back of the head with it. Immediately gets out of the ring, and Burch the first one eliminated. 1, 2, 3. He's on. And then following this, Jack Gallagher. By the way, notice Jack Gallagher's mannerisms in this match. He constantly, even before this, was looking for a tag. He wasn't even acknowledging really what his team was doing or the rest of his team. He just wanted to get in there and beat somebody up. And he got tired of winning. So what does he do? Eventually, he gets a blind tag in, much to the chagrin of Tony Nese. Anyway, Breeze comes into play as he tries to fight for Team NXT, and Jack Gallagher, he tries to get the better of him, but then what happens, there's a bit of confrontation between him and Nese. But it doesn't matter because Breeze, he simply gets caught in a sit-down package pin. Breeze eliminated by the gentleman, Jack Gallagher. NXT down 2, while 2 of Live still intact with 5 people. And then as he was teasing to tag Tony Nese, I don't know what this is. Maybe this is a new thing. Like, yeah, screw you. Well, I guess it's better than flipping the bird. PG, folks. Basically, Breeze, though, he leaves. There's some argument with the 205 Live team. And at this point, Nese, he's like forced himself into this match. And they're arguing, like, oh, you know what? Go ahead. You just go ahead. Half and half, Oney Lorcan gets the captain, eliminates Tony Nese. And like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You can sense some animosity between Mike Kanellis, Jack Gallagher, and Tony Nese. Levi and Kendrick and Ari DeBar, they're just looking like, what's going on here? I don't know. We're still in. Because again, Levi and Kendrick believes he built the brand. Ari DeBar, this brand makes him money. That's their philosophies. There you go. And he wants everybody to do something. Levi and Kendrick does. Anyway, moving on from this, though, Tony Nese, like I said, he gets eliminated. So now you have Team 205 Live without their captain. And it's 4-3. Kanellis comes in, then it says, I got this. I got this. You know, I will say this. The benefit of having an empty arena, you can definitely hear the impact of a chop because he and Oney Lorcan chopped the hell out of each other. And it's like, oh! Anyway, they kept chopping each other. And then out of nowhere, super kick by Mike Kanellis. Jack Gallagher literally yells, tag me! Tag me! And then Mike, he literally does the same thing Jack did on his knees. And basically, Jack gets annoyed. But then, instead of going in the ring, he's just wondering, screw you. But Tony Nese, who's not gone, but eliminated from the match, he pulls the gentleman off the hammer like, what the hell are you doing? Bam! Headbutt. Nese is out. Mike's like, what are you doing, Jack? Bam! Gets headbutted through the ropes. And Mike gets eliminated by Oney Lorcan. 1, 2, 3. It's all even now. So then, DeVar and Levi and Kendrick, the dynamic duo, they take advantage, and they basically control Oney Lorcan. Quick tags between those two as Jack looks on. There was a ridiculous clothesline collision at one point between Oney Lorcan and Levi and Kendrick, which eventually leads Swerve in the match for the first time this match. Unbelievable. Basically, at this point, it's him and Levi and Kendrick. 2 men that are no strangers to each other. He even takes out Arya Daivari. But still, Arya Daivari, he comes back into play and saves the back from, I guess, being collided or going over the top rope at one point. It's a move. Then Jack gets tagged in. And basically, we get tags into Swerve from Kushida. There's 2 back-to-back roll-ups, though. Out of nowhere, the 205 Live OGs are eliminated. Levi Kendrick and Arya Daivari in that order. And they get pissed off. They are out there to send a statement. They attack not only Isaiah's first Scott, who's a legal man, they attack Kushida, who has not been in the match yet, and they attack Only Lorcan, and Jack just sits there in the corner, just watching on, like, whatever, yeah. Anyway, they finally go away. The ref finally gets control of this match, and basically after this, Jack goes on a tirade, and basically Only Lorcan, he gets a tag. The two duke it out. Hey, you wanted something new from Jack? What a ridiculously impactful discus forearm that drops Only Lorcan and eliminates him. Jack Gallagher gets another elimination, and it is now 2-on-1 with Kushida and Swerve Scott. But Jack did not rest on his morals after Jack Gallagher eliminated Only Lorcan. He just unleashes his own fury and beats the daylights out of Isaiah Swerve Scott, promo over the announce table, and Kushida. Tries to get the best Kushida with the drop kick. I don't think you can call it a gentleman drop kick anymore. He was anything but a gentleman in this match. And basically, he thought he was going to get the win here. Nope, Kushida is still alive. He was going for quick near falls after constant impactful moves. Kushida suffering the blunt of it. And basically, following this, big right punch, though, that wind-up right punch by Kushida finally hits his mark. I think he hurt his hand, though. And he finally tags in a irate Isaiah Swerve Scott, who basically comes into play with that house kick immediately. Jack Gallagher kicks out. So right now, Jack's incapacitated. Kushida, he's a little sore. Swerve's pissed off. He's ready to end this thing now. It's 2 against 1. Can Jack overcome the odds? He did not. Because towards the end of the match, Kushida gets the tag. The two are talking to each other. Kushida and Swerve, they come in the corner. We get a kick and a forearm strike. And then, ouch, pop culture to Jack Gallagher's left arm. And then a wheelbarrow from Swerve into the Sakura submission hold that Kushida now, it's basically, they're hoverboard lock, folks, okay? Basically, WWE has to name stuff. Kushida makes Jack Gallagher tap immediately on the injured arm as soon as he just literally catches him in it. And Team NXT wins this match with Swerve and Kushida being your remaining survivors. And they look on to each other because in the end, we won for the brand, but one of us wants to become NXT Cruiserweight Champion. So the saga ends now. NXT gets the better of the 205 Live OGs. Jack Gallagher, he right now is still figuring out himself, but this new aggressive showcase I thought was impressive. There's no doubt there's a match between him and either Mike or Nice in the near future. We're not surprised if it happens next week. And as far as Kushida and Scott, let's do a number one contenders match and see who could challenge Jordan Devlin eventually for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Because, spoiler alert, folks, Jordan Devlin might be defending it for the first time ever, that NXT Cruiserweight Championship on the NXT UK brand, which I am looking forward to. And against Stevie Buzzsaw, Travis Banks. But I do not see Travis Banks winning this title. There you go. Nope. Chris, what is your final thoughts on basically everything up to this point? NXT, 205 Live, Jack Gallagher, the upcoming Cruiserweight title match. Who should challenge him next? What's next for Jack Gallagher?
I want to see Jack Gallagher face Isaiah Swerve Scott, but I don't think that's the story they're going to tell right now. But I will tell you what, they made the gentleman look strong towards the end. Yeah, he was defiant, didn't really want to. He acted like he didn't want to even be tagging this match. He was just there to prove to himself a point of what he could do. Like I said, eliminating Lorcan. Then, like I said, he fought valiantly against Swerve and Kushida. And then, like I said, kicking out of the house call. We saw that on the last episode with Davari doing it. So what he did, he had to go for pop culture. Even still, he was trying to fight valiantly until he got put into that arm bar, the Kushida's finish, how he calls it. But it was interesting because the story made sense, that ending. You got hit with the pop culture, and then you went immediately, Kushida went to that submission. Of course you're going to tap out. You just had your arm manipulated.
Yeah. And now I'm seeing like the house call being more like a signature than a finisher, because right now 2 people are kicked out of it. So.
Yeah, and that's what it looks like they did. Which, if they're going to go with something different, hey, that's fine. Just show more of your arsenal. You're doing something different. You're not doing the same old finish for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. You're doing something different and creative. You can always go back to the house call being a finish. I've always been a fan of having one or two finishers in a match, so you never knew which one you could win with. Make it different, diverse.
Exactly.
So if that's what he's going to do, then that'd be fine by me. But I'm interested to see what the gentleman does. Maybe a few with Tony Nese, maybe a few with Mike Kanellis. Like I said, he has all these options with this new persona. Like I said, a fresh coat of paint can do a lot of things. This is a fresh coat of paint for him. Let's see how he progresses as it goes forward. Jordan Devlin, yes, we know he's going to face Travis Banks. I highly doubt Travis Banks. I'm not really impressed with this match. Have you ever heard my rant on NXT Party episode 27 about these two guys wrestling? You'll understand why. The only issue now I have with this is we already know Jordan Devlin is in the UK right now, and he is stuck in the UK right now because of all the situation in the real world. So now I don't know how they're going to really do this right now with number one contendership with NXT or 205 Live, because you have the NXT Cruiserweight Champion stuck in the UK for a long period of time at this time.
Maybe they could do like a open challenge thing with the Irish Age, being like, this is the Irish Age never-ending NXT Championship World Tour. Like some of what the Miz maybe did with Aaron Canell, but he'll literally fight anybody. So maybe after he fights Travis Banks, he could fight, I don't know, Jack Stars. Then maybe you get the subtle tease, they could fight, I don't know, Tyler Bate. And then maybe beyond that, because we know who else has been involved, maybe, just maybe, well, I guess that can't happen because we know what's next for him, but never mind. Maybe Noam Dar, who's been very pompous, confident, but has a lot of wins under his belt lately, too. I mean, there's a lot you could do within the NXT UK brand itself. I hope they kind of go off that because right now, everything needs to change gears at this point when it comes to the NXT Cruiserweight Championship because you're right, it's literally constrained in NXT UK. So now you need to figure out how do you set up the next challenger after Travis Banks because I got to be honest, like I said, he did pretty well at NXT TakeOver, NXT Worlds Collide, excuse me. It was Worlds Collide, excuse me. But he didn't win. The guy cannot seem to get the big win. No. I just don't see this title going to him. That's all I have to say. And I've been impressed with Jordan Devlin forever. I still feel like they should do what they did with Over the Top Wrestling instead of Jordan Devlin versus Walter. But he's the Cruiserweight champion now, so they're going to focus only on that. And as far as Jack Gallagher goes, yeah, let's see what's next for the guy. What else does he have up his arsenal? What else has he added, per se? He still has the drop kick. He still has the headbutt. That discus forearm strike, that's a new move. What else can he do? What sort of submission maybe does he have? And when it comes to what you said about the wrestler setup, when it comes to two finishers, I feel like we have one that could lead to a decisive pinfall and the other one that could lead to maybe submission. I feel like right there, that's already dynamic enough in your game. Maybe two that might yield pinfall wins and one that might yield submission. Because your first finisher might not yield the pinfall win, but you could set up for the second finisher, like after he does Pop Culture, for example, he beat R.I. Dabari, by the way, whose arm was bandaged. Yes, why? With a, double stomp. So there you go. But with that being said, folks, that is the end of this current story of NXT versus 205 Live. What's next for both divisions? What's next for both brands in the cruiserweights? Only time will tell. We got a few ideas, but again, with this whole thing right now of what the world's going through, and God bless you all and safety to you, we got to see what happens because, again, for the next few weeks, we're going to see nothing but empty-type venues. So you got to imagine the booking's going to be limited. The storyline's going to be slowly progressed, if not at least recapped, and you're going to get a lot filler. So I don't know what 205 Live could do as filler, but I guess we'll find out soon enough. But with that being said, we still are always going to believe that the brand matters, and they're going to discuss it and review it. So let's go ahead now and go into our open forum we like to call Simple Stances. For those of you who don't know that tune in for the first time, me and the Holiday like to bring up, talk about, prophesize, predict, and opinionate on anything cruiserweight wrestling. And as my friend has alluded to, there is a community on Reddit that talks about cruiserweight wrestling all the time in the 205 Live brand. Mad shout out to all of you. So with that being said, Chris, we really don't know what the direction is for the cruiserweight division or NXT 205 Live or NXT UK. We don't even know what's the direction for WrestleMania. But I'm curious to see what you or the Reddit community has in your mind. What would you like to open in Simple Stances with?
All right. I have two from Reddit that I wrote down. One I found really interesting, one not so much, but I'll ask you the first one. So this one is coming from Devlin Fan 767. Okay, so Devlin Fan, I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not reading all the numbers. Okay, he asked, with the situation with coronavirus and the current champion being stuck in NXT UK, for the time being, and the travel plans being banned, should WWE or the 205 Live brand bring back the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. So in storyline, they have a reasoning saying, hey, he's not here to defend the title. We brought our title back, and then they could have a unification match later on, like SummerSlam.
Oh, I like that, actually. And I could definitely probably see something like that happening. Let's think about this. OG himself, the Brian Carrot, the guy that created the brand, he says he's the reason why 205 Live exists. Well, now he being a part of this team in a brand war storyline on the losing end, you gotta imagine he's gonna do something. But now he could probably tease the idea, our champion, who is not a 205 Live original, has our belt and is not even able to be on the brand. But I'm the man with a plan, and we deserve to have our championship on our brand, the brand that I started. So I am bringing back the original Cruiserweight Championship. I would actually love to see that, and I think that would be brilliant. Not only do you add a new tease, per se, or wrinkle to the Cruiserweight division, not to mention, you can really call this the secondary title because Jordan Devlin, who will still be tweeting, I'm sure, will be like, what is this? There's only one true ace of the Cruiserweights. You keep that there, and I'll just come and take that from you. And we could tease literally a title unification match between the Brian Kendrick and Jordan Devlin. Because in the end, you don't necessarily need heel versus face dynamic. You just need two professional wrestlers in the Brian Kendrick who drive the storyline through those two words too, and see who the best cruiserweight is. Because right now, the Brian Kendrick being the veteran, Jordan Devlin right now, he truly is the future. I could see the Brian Kendrick putting over Jordan Devlin. And honestly, the Brian Kendrick, I don't know how many more matches he really could wrestle. Maybe he could go into more of a manager role. I honestly, if this could result in maybe the Brian Kendrick becoming the new general manager at 205 Live, I think that's how I would book it. So yes, I would love to see that, and I would love for it to be the Brian Kendrick who brings it back, faces Jordan Devlin, unification match, SummerSlam weekend, WrestleMania improv, whatever the hell you might call it, change it to, which leads to a title unification, maybe a new belt, maybe both. He just wears both for a little while, like they did for a while with the World Heavyweight and the WWE thing. And literally, the Brian Kendrick finally morphs from in-ring wrestler to general manager. Chris, what's your thoughts on that simple stance? That's a good one.
I agree with you on the Brian Kendrick. He should be the one who does it. I think the scenario is because we already know, folks, NXT UK is taped, and it's taped for a few weeks. So we will see Jordan Devlin as the NXT Cruiserweight Champion for a little bit via what his match is going to be with Travis Banks. That's the plans with that right now. So now we have this situation, unfortunately, with the coronavirus. They have banned travel. I know in Japan you can't travel there till April 30th. I know going to Britain, Ireland, wherever.
Okay.
I think it's the same thing, UK. I think it is the same thing. It's April 30th right now. So that's a little bit away for they may lift it. That's not guaranteed yet.
Right.
So if we're needing to do something creative with it right now, I would do that. Have the Brian Kendrick come out saying, yes, you know what, we have a champion. He's not even here to defend the title. Let somebody do something. Like, let's say they have a number one contendership match, okay, for a number one contendership. And say hook or crook, Brian Kendrick wins the match. Hook by crook, he wins the match. Yeah. And then he says, you know what, I can't even get a championship match. You're stuck over there because of everything going on in the world. You're stuck over there. How am I supposed to get a match? I can't travel to you. So guess what? I'm going to bring this belt back. I'm going to bring back the WWE Cruiserweight Championship, the belt that I won when this title came back. When this brand got started, the Cruiserweight Classic, the belt I won.
Bring it back to his original group belt, the Prestige.
Yes. And then he could do the storyline. So then when everything is resolved, and then Jordan Devlin does come back, you could do something similar to WrestleMania 10 ladder match scenario with Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels, and then you have both belts hanging up there, and you have the ladder match. This could be Brian Kendrick's swan song, or whatever you want to call it. This could be his greatest match he has with Jordan Devlin. They both can put on a clinic and let Jordan Devlin claim both the titles at that point.
Yeah, imagine seeing a sliced bread off the ladder, too. That'd be crazy. And the thing, we have yet to see a just plain, simple ladder match under the 205 Live Cruiserweight division. This is the
Mm,
perfect setup for it. And I know people might say, oh, they did that already with the freaking WWE World Heavyweight title. Why you want to retcon that? Because it's different. It's a totally different scenario and division.
mm,
It's not going to be the same match. It's not going to be multi-man, although I could definitely see Art Barry trying to get him up against Jordan Devlin and Jordan Devlin taking on the world by himself because Jordan Devlin has nobody with him. But again, it's something different. You want originality. You want something different. Cruiserweights define ladder matches. Okay, people? You have
mm.
not seen cruiserweight wrestling unless you've seen a ladder match with cruiserweights. And I know people are going to say, but the Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian, they define the ladder match too. Edge, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, they did too. But the Cruiserweights, they bring a different vibe to it. And again, you have not seen it yet on 205 Live. Why not do another first? And honestly, if they don't have a GM right now because Drake Maverick's still MIA, I say because it's NXT and 205 Live are kind of submerged, have Real Ringo be the one to bring this belt forward. He can call like a secondary championship or a mid card championship or maybe NXT Cruiserweight Championship where it's just NXT. This could be the 205 Live Championship. Why not? Okay? We've seen brand titles before. Why not just try and do that for a short term storyline and go with it? In my honest opinion, folks, I miss the big gold belt from SmackDown that used to be held by the greats like Batista. Fuck the Blue Universal Championship. But I digress. Anyway, thank you, by the way, Reddit user. That was a wonderful simple stance. And people, please keep bringing in simple stances and other forums and discussions and questions and thoughts you have. I'd love to hear more from you, and I'd love to discuss them and bring my thoughts and see if you agree or disagree. Greatly appreciate you. Again, it's hard keeping up with everything with college and work and life, and I digress. All right, Chris, what else does the Reddit community? Pretty much I like this. This means that others bring the show forward for us, and it also means that I just don't have to try and improv every week. Because again, I want to bring
Well,
this forward to the people. So what else
well,
does the
this
Reddit?
is actually a Tumblr question because we actually had. There's also things on Tumblr that I
I
share
said
this
stuff
show
on
with.
every
So
social media.
yeah, I try to. That's how you learn how. I learn how to share on different things to get a different audience. This one actually came from Tumblr. This is actually from the New Japan part on the Tumblr, which I found interesting. This one was from Naito is the best. Interesting name. And he, but he asked here, should 205 Live adapt not just a cruiserweight tag championship, but some kind of either middleweight? Sorry, my phone won't save energy. Either a middleweight or a never open weight tag team championship, so you could have one cruiserweight and one heavyweight teaming. Make it a different set of rules where a cruiserweight teams with a heavyweight to be the tag champions. It would give something diverse and different and would showcase a heavyweight and cruiserweight in that with those belts. Do you want to see something different like that, or would that be too far out?
Why don't you kick off this one first? Because I opened up the other one.
I think if it's done correctly, you could do a perfect example. Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak. Drew Gulak was classified as a cruiserweight wrestler. Daniel Bryan's classified technically as a heavyweight wrestler, but they only have like a 10, 15 pound difference. That I could
Correct.
see you doing something like that. I don't think you would call, I don't know what you would call that version of a tag team championship because it would be something different you've never seen before. We have the never open in New Japan. They have the never open weight tag team championships. They have
Yep.
different variations but it's not a specific rule. What he's saying is should they have a belts where a specific rule where you have a cruiserweight and a heavyweight has to be one or the other. Has to be a one heavyweight, one cruiserweight doing these
It's like
tag
a mix.
championships.
It's like he's trying to form a mixed class division.
Yeah, like a middleweight. I mean, it could be. I don't know what even would call that, like a middleweight tag championships. I would be the best closest thing I can think of to calling it. But I like the idea of it, but how would it go about? That would be the interesting trick. 'Cause I think we brought this up before in the past about if you would have, like, I think we did when we talked about, like, the Monster Among Men teaming up with Gulak and the Big Show teaming up with Cedric Alexander, something like that, when we were pitching an idea of this
Yeah, we
in the
were
past.
at one point. It was like an
And
impromptu mixed match challenge of our own.
yeah, um, it would be interesting, but then I also wouldn't want to see. you can get away with it with Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak because Daniel Bryan is almost at that weight or is close to realistic being at that weight to be on 205 Live brand. But you couldn't do that and have like these tag titles defended on 205 Live with like the Monster Among Men and Mustafa Ali, for example. You couldn't have those titles because it's not realistic. The 205 Live brand specifically is for 205 Live NXT stars that are in the Cruiserweight division. So as much as I would love to see something different, I think it would only work if we did not specifically have a 205 Live show. I would say it would work, but with us having a 205 Live show, I just don't see it working that way. That's my opinion.
Okay. So first off, I totally agree with you on the whole 205 Live thing because, again, the brand is called 205 Live. It is defined by athletes that are 205 pounds or under. With the idea, though, that NXT beat the 205 Live OGs and the Cruiserweights have competed with heavyweights, if you were to rename the 205 Live brand to, I don't know, NXT Light or something, gee, I wonder where to get that name idea from, then yes, I could totally see something like that happening. Now, as far as the setup goes, Never Overweight is a thing in New Japan, but they're not tag team. It's 6 men. So it really comes down to, do you want this more as a 6-man division or do you want this more as a separate tag team division? Impact Wrestling briefly did something like this for a little while with their X division, but it was over a sticking flag, okay? And Never Overweight is a 6-man tag team division in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And yes, they do have the standalone Never Overweight Championship where you can basically challenge anyone of any kind at any time. Hence why Shingo Takagi has it. And he's faced virtually everybody. And he'll face virtually anybody, no matter what weight class. I would like to see some more diversity among the cruiserweights. Let's just say cruiserweights, because again, this would have to be beyond 205 and 205 Live. This will be like an impromptu reinvention of the cruiserweight division. So first off, if you redefine the 205 Live brand into NXT Light or something like that, because it's more NXT, it seems, now than 205 Live, but it's still cruiserweights, then yeah, I could totally see something like that happening. I would like to see that. And one of the first teams that come to mind, Keith Lee and Leo Rush. You saw how well those two worked together in impromptu NXT taping after a takeover against Tony Nese and Damian Priest. Boom, there's another team right there. So I would love to see that, but you first need to redefine the 205 Live show brand in its entirety. So it doesn't connect to just, 205, wait, they're all supposed to be under this weight. You got to break that mold. If you really want something different, you got to break that mold. Secondly, as far as a name goes, and if I want this as 6-man or 2-man, or 6-man or 4-man, I think I'd rather see the 2-man format personally because I feel like they could really pull that off more because in WWE, you do not see a lot of 3-men teams, nor do you see 6-man tag teams. That makes sense. The only people that were able to pull that off were the Lucha House Party, and they're stuck on the blue brand. I don't even know where they are anymore. It doesn't matter. But the bottom line is this. Yes, I'd like to see that, but you need to redefine the 205 Live brand, rename it to something like NXT Light. And as far as what you would call these titles, that's the hardest question to think about. Yeah. I don't want to call it like middleweight because that don't make no sense to me. Because if you do heavyweight and cruiserweight, that average is not going to be like a middleweight. It'd probably be maybe I don't know, a flex division or something like that because you're flexing different classes. Class championship. The name itself would be something you really would have to think long and hard about.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea, and I would like to see it as a tag team division, but only when the 205 Live brand defines itself or redefines itself beyond the 205 Live weight limit. So there you go. Whew. Okay. Thank you again to those that provided questions. Please keep your questions, your thoughts, fantasy bookings all in. We love to do more of them. But with that being said, I think that's a good way to actually wrap up this episode because right now we have no idea what's next for NXT Cruiserweight Division or 205 Live Division with their champ constrained right now in the UK and everything going to empty arenas right now, which means the booking's going to be light. So all previous plans have probably been rewritten as we speak. Triple H, good luck with everything. Please keep entertaining us. With that being said, I think that's a good way to end this episode of 205 Live Matters. Thank you, as always, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in, and those that keep submitting in questions, thoughts, and queries. Greatly appreciate you. If you haven't already, please join the hashtag 205 Live Matters Facebook group. I need to get back more into that. Maybe after this midterm, I'll finally do an update and post some other questions, including maybe you could post those in the group, Chris, and the links to those groups too, because I think that'd be a great way to expand the connection of the community. Because clearly, we are not the only ones that believe in 205 Live Matters, and we want to see it grow in the event itself. With that being said, I ranted long enough. Chris, this is always an extreme pleasure. Anything you want to plug and where can people find you? And congrats again on reaching 1,000 subscribers.
I appreciate that. If you want to follow me, you can find me on my YouTube channel, The Holiday Christopher Mace. I'm very humbled honor at 1,500 subscribers right now. That's crazy how that grows. Just a lot of different content on there. Some holiday breaks are short and simple. Holiday opinions, just different shows on there, different predictions on wrestling. Yes, a lot of predictions got, postponed with everything going on, but still entertaining. They probably will be rescheduled. Also, like I said, if you want to submit questions for the show, 205 Live Matters, you can message me on you can message me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Christopher Mace. Or if you, like I said, leave them when I shared a video on Reddit. You can leave the questions if you're part of that community, our Tumblr community. Also on Twitter, you do have 205 Live fans on there as well. Shout out to them, like I said. However you want to submit your questions, you can just submit them by messaging me, and I will write them out, and I'll ask them for the simple man here. Like I said, we both believe in cruiserweight wrestling. He's been the biggest supporter of 205 Live Matter since its inception. I've always remembered the history of the WCW Cruiserweight Championships, why you'll see some of the videos we've done together and I've done by myself on different variations of the championships.
Yep.
Maybe in the future we will do a video together talking about different things about the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. But the way the world's going right now, we got to see what we're doing one day at a time. But that may be something planned out in the future
or
as
the
a special edition. Or the X division, how it involved too. One of the two, but either way, that'll be a special edition of times. However, this chaos is going right now in the world. Just all I gotta say about it at the end of the day, like I said, support the NXT and go to our wrestling content playlist on my YouTube channel, all their newest episodes, supportnotiq.com, and everybody just stay safe. Like I said, yes, it's chaos in the world right now. But you know what? Try to find something to calm down. I know a lot of people use sports, and we don't have those. A lot of people use music. But, you still have a lot of stuff. You still have family. You still have friends. You still have other things you could use to stay calm, relax. It's going to be stressful. I've been stressed out. Everybody's been stressed out. The world's been stressed out. Just try to relax. Take a deep breath. Either if you have faith in what's going on, and everything will get better. And if you don't, just have patience, relax, and try not to stress so much. And just be polite to everybody right now, because everybody's stressed out and upset. Don't be negative towards about it. We don't need all that right now. Let's just try to stay in a positive attitude.
And for those of you that still go to retail stores or even work in those environments, I have nothing but mad respect to you as a former worker at Walmart. Shout out to my store, 5028 Walmart on Glendale Avenue, Toledo, Ohio. God bless you all. Please respect them. They're literally helping you through this crisis, and they're probably going for more stress than y'all because they're trying to provide for you, and they have certain restrictions that they must apply to. With that being said, this is not simply a PSA. This is just simply a message to be kind to one another and stay calm under the most heaviest of pressure. Simple as that. And with that being said, if you do want to know more about me, and by the way, thank you as always, Chris Mace. We are the Simple Holiday folks. He's the Holiday Chris Mace. But if you want to know more about me, know this. I'm just a simple man. And if you haven't figured out by now, I am a lifelong fan of Mountain Dew and wrestling. So if you want to follow me and talk anything wrestling, the 5 brands of WWE or Ring of Honor, NWA, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, All Elite Wrestling. Yes, I am wearing Le Champion. Stardom, Pro Wrestling Noah, you name it, it's wrestling. I've watched it. Independent Wrestling, it's for pro wrestling, folks. Then you can please feel free to look me up on Twitter. I'll just give you a nice hello and only be a positive encouragement to you and just someone to chat wrestling with. So look me up on Twitter, notiq.com/Noah, takes you to my Twitter page, or follow me on Instagram, #SupermanLive at mfoster1916. It's also mfoster1916 on Twitter too. Yes, the 1916 came from Finn Balor, a.k.a. Prince Devitt, one of my favorite wrestlers from Wrestle Kingdom. Thank you for those that have realized that. I'm not 104 years old. That'd be crazy. But with that being said, also follow the Simple channel as always. I'm going to try and put out a video each week, if nothing else, at the heart of my series, hashtag 205 Matters, and a new series I started that covers AEW, Dark, and previous Dynamite, and discusses the roster and the business itself, AEW Spark. Please go check out the latest episode in that series, and stay tuned. I might have 2 guests this week, and members of the Team All Elite Facebook group that we're part of, in Gina and Mike. So stay tuned for that. We'll see what happens. Also, all predictions are on hold, but who knows? I might do some simpling reacting or saying videos for matches I have seen, what I might see this week, what I was hoping to see. I might even still do some prediction on New Japan Cup, even though I don't know if that's ever going to happen at this point. But I did have thoughts on it too. There's a reason I don't do videos as much as I can, because college and work and, maintain composure. But anyway, just a little bit of an idea for you. But also, if you haven't figured out by now, by the background, the reason I'm even in YouTube, support No DQ. The reason I'm in YouTube. Forever indebted to the No DQ family. Thank you, Aaron Riff, Caitlin, Jerry, and Stefan. They really were, and Tyler. They really were the big 5 that really got me into this whole thing in the first place. So please support my friends in No DQ. Buy a shirt, buy a tapestry, buy a pillow, buy a sticker, buy a mug. Just do it. I have a shirt. NoDQ.com/merch to the store. Follow NoDQ.com on all your social media platforms. Your appearance matters. A comment center fan of the official website. Polls, columns, memes, gifts, reviews, recaps, sexy female pics. You name it, it's there. Primarily wrestling from WWE, a little bit of AEW, and other stuff too. They'll keep you up to date, especially on all things WrestleMania, how the coronavirus might affect all wrestling events, WWE and beyond. So please stay tuned for more of that as well. But the NoDQ live reviews will continue as always, as well as the reviews. And if WrestleMania somehow goes on by Vince's divine intervention, yes, we will be doing predictions on that as well, and I will be sending out a form so you all may participate too in the NoDQ Galaxy Predictions League. So stay tuned for more on that. And as always, I like to close. Support your wrestling outlets, both big and small, even through the worst of times. And let's keep growing this incredible, diverse, unique, elite, 100% authentic, unscripted, unapologetic wrestling community together with attitude. Simple as that. With that being said, I am done here for the night. Thank you, as always, for tuning in to my little Heart of My series and my channel, and pretty much my Heart of Wrestling here. 205 Live and 205 Live Matters. For the holiday Christmas, I'm the Simple Man Noah Foster, the undisputed Simple Man of No DQ, after coming out the NXT tour. Baby. Until the next video, in this time, as he alluded to, please take care, be safe, be healthy, treasure your families. Tomorrow's never guaranteed. There's more meaning to that phrase now more than ever, because for all you know, you might have it. So do your best to prevent it, and take care. And until the next video, please stay calm. Give all your fear to the right person. And until next time, because we certainly will be back no matter what, at least for this, I hope you all stay healthy and have a good night.
Have a good night, y'all.
Fuck coronavirus! Not like that. And as always,
Indeed.
yeah. And 205 Life Matters, always. Good night,
Yes.
everybody. For Nuggets number 1, always will be.
Always.